Hello beautiful ladies, thank you so much for joining my video. Today I am going to be talking about some tips and tricks that you can do in order to make your self-tan look amazing. I have done self-tanning techniques for several years, and it is the best thing ever, especially for the winter months and times when I don't always get to be out in the sun. So I do enjoy sun, and unfortunately over the years it has damaged my skin a lot. So self-tanning and the new techniques and products that have come out have made it so much better for all of us, so that we can get a natural looking tan. To start with, I have lots of products here. Some are just drugstore products, some are more from dealers, higher end products. So we will go over those because I do use several of these according to the time of year and according to the type of tan I want. So let's begin. First off, in all of my items is I have 3 different tanning products, 3 different brands that I use when I am doing a self-tan. So like I said before, it depends on the season and the results that I want. So to begin with, I am starting out with Jergens, which is my Old Faithful. This is an amazing product. So this stuff is really good. I use it a lot in the winter. It's something that you can gradually work on or build on a tan. So if you're someone that's concerned about getting really a bold, dramatic tan, then this would be something that'd be a great start. It's easy to glide on. It's more of a lotion as opposed to full-blown product, so it's very smoothing over the skin. A big container of it, which will do great for your body. I do some of this on my face as well. With this here, I rub it all over my body, let it dry. The next day, if it's not dark enough, I just build on that, and that's until I get it to the level I want it. Works wonders for me in the winter months, and it's also a great way to maintain my other tanning throughout the summer, and I'll explain that later. The next product is Tan Physics. This is a product that I found on Facebook, and I'm sure many of you have seen the advertisements on it. This product works really well for me. I have tried some of the other middle range, price ranged products, and this one here I would say was my favorite, just based on the color and the tone that it actually brings out my skin. So this is a product I use a lot. This one here is a more higher end product. I'd gotten it from a department store. This is Clarins Intense Bronze Self-Tanning Tint, and I use it, but I don't use it all the time. It's something that I use it for contouring and bronzing on my face, and so I go over that as well a little bit later on in this video. So it's a really good product, just more expensive. The number one thing I would tell anyone if you're trying to get a really good self-tan is to first, you have to exfoliate. And I know you hear people say that all the time. They're like, exfoliate, exfoliate, and it can be overwhelming because there's so many products out there and you're not sure which ones to use. And then some of the like even tanning salons will tell you don't use products that have lotions in them or certain products in them. So what I have done is, and I found this works out very well, I have really 3 exfoliating ways that I actually exfoliate my skin, and it's things that I've made myself here at the home. My first one, this is a body scrub that I use this one in the shower. As you can see, this has coffee that's already been used coffee, so I take the grounds from this, and then I get the extra virgin olive oil, and I put this in here as well. So normally I will use 2 tablespoons of the coffee grounds, and then 2 tablespoons of the olive oil. I like the extra virgin fresh cold pressed olive oil, which works out well for this. This here can be messy in your tub, so please be aware of that. I take this, I put it all over my body in circular motions. I actually exfoliate all over, and I really do pay a lot of attention to my elbows, my knees, my ankles, in those areas where a lot of times the color will really gather up there, and then it looks spotty, and you do not want that to happen. Now, some people don't like this because they're saying, well, it's too messy in my bathtub, I don't want to have to deal with it. So another thing that I use is, and you will find in all my products, coconut oil is my favorite product in my whole house. So you can eat it, put it on your skin, you can do anything with it, so it's great. I will take coconut oil and just regular granulated sugar and mix those together, and you can also use that as an exfoliator. So a third idea that some people do, and this is an exfoliating brush or a sponge. I like to use this especially when I'm in the shower and I am working on like the elbows, the knees, the ankles, my hands. This works really well. Something too, a lot of times that I will mix with that is baking soda. So if you don't have time to mix any of this up and you're like, I'm just in a hurry, if you have a box of baking soda, mix it with your shower gel, scrub it either just with your hands or take one of these sponges, scrub it all over. Just make sure you exfoliate your skin very, very well. Something that I do when I am self-tanning is I always shower and exfoliate the night before. So I will, and something else that's in that process is I also shave. So what I will do, let's say Friday night, I decide I am going to self-tan on Saturday. So I will get in the shower, I will shave my legs, underarms, wherever I need to shave. At that point, then I exfoliate. So like I said, I love this. It's something to do with caffeine, and it just feels so good. So this is my favorite, even though it's messy. I do exfoliate, rub my body thoroughly, make sure I get as much dry skin off as possible. Once I get out of the shower, I then really load my skin up with lots of moisture. So I've used baby oil, just cheap baby oil. Rub it all over your skin really thick, because what's going to happen is we're going to want that to absorb into your skin, so that if I'm doing it Friday night, so that Saturday morning when I get up and I'm ready to put my self-tanner on, guess what? My skin is moist and it's not going to be dried out. Now, this works wonders, but there are areas that I have that are problem areas. So what I do is I have a whipped butter cream, and this is one of my products I will talk about later in a later video, but this stuff is amazing. And I will put this, after I put my oil on, I will put additional barriers on my elbows, my knees, my ankles, my feet. That way it's given that it's a deeper moisturizer and a better barrier. Now, from when I do that, from at that point, you can see I've used all these products. A lot of these are all natural, so it shouldn't be very expensive to do that at that point. I get up the next morning, I will jump in the shower, warm my body up, just lightly wash my body. I do not put on any lotions or anything once I get out of the shower. I do dry off very well, make sure I am dried properly, and then that's when I start my self-tanning process. So with this here, it's pretty easy. I don't wear gloves because I immediately wash my hands. Plus, I don't like the way the gloves, I feel like I just can't feel where it's going. So that's just my preference. Others love the gloves and have great success with it. So it's whatever is easier for you. But with the Jergens, it's almost like it's fail proof because it's not a really deep dark tan. So it makes it to where you can just rub it on. I would, anytime you're putting a self tanner on, focus on like this area here, your forearm, the top part of your arm. Go lightly in this area because this is where it always really gathers up. From there, same thing on your legs. You know, work on that thigh area, then on your calf, then slightly just rub across your knees and your ankles. You do not want all the product going to those problem areas because then it's blotchy and then you'll say, I hate self-tanning or doing it myself. So I'm just trying to make this where you will enjoy it like I do. With this here, Tan Physics, I put quite a bit on. Quarter size amount in my hand at one time, and I'll dab it on my arms. Same thing, I'm putting it at the top part. I'll do it right here on my forearm. On my hands, I will take whatever's left after I've rubbed it, and I will just go like that for that moment at that time. And I always like to go right into here. This here is an area that a lot of times it's not very good with the coloring, so you have to really rub that. I do it on my arms, I do it all in my chest, my neck area, all the way down. Then I do my legs. Now, a little trick I have learned is when I have done self-tanning before, my calf area never takes the tan at the level, at the depth that it takes on my thighs. The skin is thinner there, there's less fat there, so it's a big difference. And so it's frustrating when I do use self-tanner and then this is white, this is tan. So I found out there was a little trick that you can take lemon juice and put it in that area and rub it on your legs before you put your self-tanner on. So what I've done is, and it's been working, is I will take a little bit of this, you can use fresh lemon, this, take a little bit of this, rub it on that calf area so that it will help absorb the tanning product. So I do that to both of my calf areas. Everything else I'm pretty good with tanning except those areas, so I use that for that reason. Once I do that, I really lather up and put all of this on. At this point, I let it set for about 15 to 20 minutes before I actually put any clothes on. I will wear loose fitting clothes, which works out well. Especially if it's a Saturday, I'll do it all day. There have been times to where I've changed up my process or my times so that I actually was putting my self-tanner on at night and then sleeping in it and then waking up the next morning. What I love about Tan Physics is that I can actually put this on in the morning, go to work, and it does not have that offensive odor that some other self-tanners have. So that's a really good reason why I like this one too, because I have had some that were horrible. I stunk so bad that I was like, I have to go home. I cannot be in public. So for the face, I have a few videos, or I have a couple that I did from last night when I tanned my face. I will show y'all some of the steps on that, and it will be part of this video here. You will see in those videos that I have a sponge like this that I was utilizing to put the self-tanner on for my face. There's also this sponge here that works out really well. When I'm doing self-tanning on my face, I normally do not use the Jergens, but what I do use is I will use the Tan Physics and also the Clarins. And there is a technique when I'm doing it. I have used self-tanner on my face before and hated it. And it was because I woke up the next morning and I had this white around my lips and it was so dried looking. There's always a section right in here that looked horrible. And I hated it. So over time I realized that if you really look to see how we highlight and how we add dimension when we're doing cosmetics on our face, we will a lot of times do that with the bronzer, and we will do this situation like a number 3. You'll hear me talk about this later in videos, but where we actually do some depth and some bronzing, and normally you do it like in here, you'll do it on your cheek, like in a 3, and or down your jawline here. And I use that same technique when I'm actually doing face tanner. So when I am doing the face tanner, I'm not rubbing it all over my face. I am actually taking the sponge or the brush, I'm putting product on there, and then I'm actually going in those same sections. And I'm going to the cheek area, going down, put a little bit on my chin, tip a little bit on my nose there. I don't go up in here because of the problems before, but then I'll go here, here, and here. I do not do anything in this area, up in this area. Even underneath my eyes area, I keep that to where I do not use the self tanner in that area. I've not had any problems with it looking off or off, you know, to where the coloring was messed up. Plus, I always wear makeup, and I always use a little bronzer if needed to even things out, so that also works well for me. And in saying all of this, self-tanning to me can be great for all of us during the summer months. Plus any time during the year. I will tell you, when I have a tan, I feel so much better about me as a person and the way I look as a person. So I go to the gym a lot. I wear tank tops. My body looks better, my muscle definition looks better, my legs look better, just with a little bit of color. So, and I know it can be frustrating if you've never had great success with the self-tanners. Hopefully you have lots of success with this. Summer is coming. I am so ready for the summer, but I'm also ready to look bronze and healthy. So, here are my face tanning techniques. Thank you so much for watching my tanning video. I will have more coming very soon.